Welcome to Module 12, Supervisory Authorities. At the end of this module, you will have a basic understanding of what supervisory authorities do, the role of data protection officers, and data protection officer responsibilities. Question. I receive repeat emails from a marketing company trying to sell me insurance. I have not consented for them to use my data. I look to see if there is an unsubscribe button, but there is not. Neither are there details of who is sending me the emails. What can I do? The European Economic Area is made up of 30 member states. Each member state is also known as a jurisdiction. Every jurisdiction within the EEA has a supervisory authority responsible for upholding information rights. The Information Commissioner's Office, or ICO, is the UK's independent supervisory authority. The ICO perform a number of roles, including promoting public awareness, handling complaints, ordering the controller and the processor to provide any information it requires, carrying out investigations in the form of data protection audits, issuing warnings and reprimands to a controller or processor, imposing a temporary or permanent limitation, including a ban on processing, and imposing administrative fines. If an individual has a data protection complaint, they should contact the data controller first, but if they do not receive a satisfactory response, they can raise the issue to the ICO. Every complaint will be reviewed. The ICO can impose sanctions on companies that do not comply with the GDPR. At the highest level, fines up to €20 million, or 4% of annual company turnover, can be levied. However, the ICO have stated that fines will be a last resort, and are not always the most effective choice. In addition to fines, the ICO can complete compulsory data protection audits, or give warnings, reprimands, enforcement notices, and stop processing orders. Under the GDPR, every company processing data must register with the ICO. Registration is based on a three-tier system, which takes account of their size and turnover. It is a company's responsibility to self-assess, pay the annual fee, and justify the reason for the level selected. In addition, under the GDPR, each controller and processor needs to maintain a record of their processing activities, and make the record available to the supervisory authority on request. Failure to provide information that demonstrates compliance with the GDPR will constitute a serious breach, and potentially incur a large fine. A data protection officer leads an organization's data protection activities. The data protection officer should report into the highest level of the organization. However, senior management should not direct the actions of the DPO. The DPO should have no conflict of interest. For example, if the CEO of an organization was also the data protection officer, it would be difficult to make data protection decisions, which were unaffected by commercial considerations. It is a requirement that an organization appoints a data protection officer, if one of the following applies. They are a public authority. The main activity of the organization consists of regularly processing, or systematically monitoring, the data of individuals on a large scale. Or, the main activities of the organization consist of large-scale processing of special categories of data, and personal data, relating to criminal convictions and offenses. If these criteria are not met, the organization can appoint an alternative role holder to manage data protection responsibilities. This person cannot be called a DPO, and the organization must be able to justify their decision not to appoint a DPO. Let's explore the DPO's responsibilities. Senior management. The DPO reports into the highest level of management, but is not directed by them, providing a clear plan of action, and reporting progress. Processes and procedures. The DPO ensures that data protection principles are applied to processing activities. Customers and users. The DPO provides training, manages consent and privacy notices, maintains data subject rights, and all communication. IT services continuity management. The DPO ensures business continuity, and disaster recovery policies and procedures are in place. Information security for IT processes. The DPO ensures data protection by design, and secure processing. Access management. The DPO reviews IT, and physical access to information. Human resources. The DPO monitors joiner, mover, and leaver activity, plus entitlements to information access. Suppliers. The DPO monitors supplier process due diligence, transfers of data, sharing data, and third parties. Information Commissioner's Office. The DPO communicates with the ICO on all data protection matters, data protection impact assessments and breach reporting, plus collation of all relevant information. Monitor regulation compliance. The DPO carries out internal audits, monitoring and implementing the latest regulatory and legal changes. Answer to the question at the start of this module. It is not legal for a marketing company to send unsolicited emails to an individual, without having their consent. It is also illegal for there to be no unsubscribe mechanism, or details of the data controller. In this case, the individual can complain to the ICO, in the UK, who will investigate the complaint. We will now ask you a short question. Some time will be left for you to think about the answer, however, feel free to pause the video after the question is asked, to allow yourself enough time to think about the answer. The question will be answered shortly after. A small organization decides to appoint their financial director, or FD, as data protection officer. Advice from a consultant indicates this is not a good idea. Why is this? The FD knows nothing about the GDPR. The FD is too senior. The FD has a potential conflict of interests, or the DPO should be from the company's legal team. The answer is, the FD has a potential conflict of interests. This is the end of our module, Supervisory Authorities. You can now move on to Module 13, GDPR Summary.